Hello America, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my review of Married at First Sight, Season 11, Episode... I don't know. I am late, but I am here, and I'm going to run through this very, not quickly, but very concisely, because I don't really feel like editing. Since I'm already late, a day late, and $1 short, I want to get this to you as soon as possible. Why does Henry have Christina saved in his phone as Christina MAFS? If that don't tell you the level that they're on in their relationship, nothing will. Christina MAFS. That's your co-worker. That's his co-worker. Anyway, so Miles' friend is a chef. He's coming over to prepare this food with mussels. I ain't really a fan of mussels, but they put some crab. I wonder, did they put real crab in there or did they put imitation crab? Because I love crab legs. I don't know if I've ever said that. I probably have. I love crab legs. So the crab and the pasta together, and that Caesar salad, girl, it was it. But I was wondering why, like, did he make that Caesar salad? Like, not the salad, the dressing, or did he buy it? Because anyway, moving on. So she comes home. She's very happy to see that he has done something so thoughtful. She is wondering if this will continue for the next 6 weeks, because they've only been married for 2 weeks and we're on episode like 10 or 11. Does that make sense? No, it does not. She says in her confessional that she pictured having a husband that would take care of her needs and, you know, help her with things and taking care of her, and she's happy to see those qualities in him. So then they get a letter from the experts asking them to ask questions. Have you ever been in love? What do you know? How do you know you're in love? And I think, how can you show love to me? So Karen says that she will know that she is in love when she feels like she's confident enough to come to him with her concerns and she feels safe. And, you know, anything can happen with time because they haven't dug as deep as they need to, you know, even be considering the feelings of in lovity. So he's like, what questions do you want to know? How deep you want to get? She was like, tell me about your childhood. Was it good or bad? He says, my childhood was okay. My parents separated when I was 9. Then I was bouncing between households. My mother was sad. My father was sad. So I felt like I had to be the peacekeeper. And I was the peacekeeper for so long until college, where I felt like I couldn't do it anymore. So when I expressed it to my father was like, bro, like, you're a child. You've done enough. You don't have to continue to do this. Karen says that she understands that, and that is a concern for her because she wants him to put his needs first. She is very appreciative that he looks out and he's a nurturer and he's a giver, but she doesn't want him to ever give so much to her that he is not giving himself what he needs. I thought that was the best conversation they've had. And he says, what did he say? She says she doesn't want him to be perfect. She just, you know, wants him to be consistent. She says that it doesn't feel natural to her when affection and too much of too good of a stuff is thrown at her too quickly, and she wants it to feel more organic and more gradual. And then they go to the grocery store. They're talking. He's mocking her about her not talking about her feelings, and she's like, I've never been with a man, or I've never seen a man be so open with his feelings. And he was like, how does that make you feel? She's like, it's like a new hairstyle, you know. I like the hairstyle, but I don't know how to treat it at night. So, you know, I just got to get used to it. Now look, let me tell you something. My eye is gone. Okay. I be knowing some stuff, but I don't notice editing. I don't notice anything like that. I don't notice reused clips. I don't notice the fact that Amani had braids. Then her hair was in a bun. Then she had braids again. I didn't notice that. Okay. So I didn't notice that in this scene, Karen had on the same nail polish that she had on in a similar scene, but in the scene before the scene that she had on different nail polish. You get what I'm saying? Out of order. Okay. And I feel upset for not knowing, but I'm bringing this up because they replay the thing of her saying that she wants a masculine man. Me, in the moment watching this, I'm thinking she's saying this again, but I'm naive. She's not saying it again. It's more than likely, maybe, used footage, reused footage. So when he asks her, do you think that sensitivity and masculinity can, you know, coexist as one? And she says, I think yes. I was like, but you just said you wanted a real masculine man. It's sensitivity and man. I'm not a fan. I just need to be more on the lookout. Because I do know that the last conversation they had about the intimacy and him writing it on the calendar, and no matter how it made her feel, it seemed like a very producer driven question, considering how he was asking the question. Like, he was like, okay, like, so what is it gonna take you to be physical, you know, like what you want, like, you know, tell me what you want. And it was like he was just like trying to, I don't know. It just seemed like he was given a question to ask, and he asked it, and then it just wasn't a good interaction. Him writing have sex with spouse on the board, on the calendar, was stupid. That whole question was stupid. It just felt like it was just made to be drama, and it just felt, it didn't even flow. Like, when they ask these questions, at least they flow, but that didn't flow in my opinion. Okay, moving on. We see Henry. Henry is cleaning up. He hasn't seen Christina all day. You know, they had a disagreement last night, and then she went out. So she comes back. And she's like, yo, what's up? She says that she has something to tell him. He's like, yeah, what is it? She says that she had stopped taking her ADD medication, and that would maybe explain for the reasons why, you know, she had been acting maybe a little more impatient or whatever than how she well, I guess he wouldn't know how she normally acts. Basically what she said is she hasn't been taking her medication, and she is seeing how not taking her medication is affecting her negatively. So she wants him to know that she, I think, is going to start taking her medication. The reason she says she stopped taking her medication is because a lot of people in her life was like, oh, you don't need that medication. Oh, you don't need it. Her mother is not a fan of medication, so her mother was like, oh, you don't need it. Just stop taking it. You don't need it. She stopped taking it. And she came to her own conclusion that she did need it. Now, I did go on Reddit, so I am a little bit influenced by Reddit, but I didn't go on Reddit until after I watched it. I have two things to say, and I feel as though people on Reddit are on the same wavelength as me, so I don't feel so alone in the boat, okay? First thing is, when did... I don't know. It just seemed out of nowhere, her saying, you know, I want to show him I can fit in his life, and I can, you know, and I really like him, and I see why we're matched, even though the reason why she said, oh my God, people need to go, everyone, what do you think I'm gonna say? Therapy. She said that she had been in relationships, like she had been in love with her ex. The relationship was a roller coaster, and it became where fighting was normal, and it was like a lot of her relationships was like that, and she kind of figured out that the common denominator was her, and she doesn't want to be like that. She wants to change. And she says in her confessional she can see why her and Henry were matched, because he doesn't yell and he brings her back down to earth. And I was like, okay, that therapy. But also, when did you have this change of heart of thinking that you and Henry, like now you wanna, like now you like, I don't know, man. It's just like, it's very weird to me that it went from, I mean, I feel like he not giving me nothing to the next episode, I like him. Now, knowing what I know about editing, it might not have even taken place in the same week. Who knows, okay? Because I'm getting a little angry now that I'm thinking about it. But it just really was weird to me that she's like, now, you know, I really like him, you know? I really like him. And though, you know, Henry was like, oh, okay, cool, you know, he didn't have an opinion either way about her taking the medication or not taking the medication, and told her to do what was right for her. I was influenced by Reddit because they were like, I mean, he didn't really like say I apologize for anything, and he really didn't. He said, you know, just hopefully your attitude will be better. And it's like, well, you know, maybe your attitude will be better. I don't know, you know, maybe both of our attitudes will be better. Maybe you'll make more of an effort to do things like the golf and, you know, the dancing, so we can not talk. They still, what did they talk about? What do they be talking about that, like, be actually, like, diving deep? Have they talked about childhood? Have they, anyway, I don't care. Why do I care? But, another thing, what if, look at me, my crystal ball. I've not been on MAFS fan in a minute because I don't go on Instagram. This is me. So if this comes true, crystal ball, look at me. Okay? What if Christina wants to stay married, but Henry wants to get a divorce? What if? Because I'm feeling like if Christina, I don't know if Christina is putting on a facade, and because she really did go like 0 to 100. Like, oh, you know, I really see myself, you know, like I want to fit into his world. Like, you want to fit into his world? I didn't know that y'all was at the fitting into his world level. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. But if Christina is actually sincere in her attraction and love, not love, you know, her admiration of Henry, and she wants to stay together and he does not, this will be preposterous. I'm sorry. I don't want to beat up on Henry so much and like look at Christina as like, oh, like, okay, now I'm starting to see Henry's the bad one. But I'm just looking at both of them like, okay, moving on. I spent a lot of time on that. Sorry. Okay, so Woody and Amani. So, like I said, Woody, well, I didn't say it, but she had braids, okay? And she said, I'm going to take out my braids. So then but I honestly can't remember. I feel like I put them in the order of how they came up. So I'm thinking Woody and Amani going to the spa happened before Woody and Olivia went to the gator retreat. It wasn't a retreat. It was a zoo. Who want to go look at alligators? Alligators are disgusting. Who wants to go look at an alligator across? Who wants to do that? Who? No, anyway, they go to the spa. They, you know, chilling. She says that she really enjoys having a husband that she can do anything with. And it's cool that they can just sit here and, you know, have their manicures and their pedicures. They get the cards, you know, asking if they have been in love with anybody and how to show love. And you know the questions I had asked. He said that he knows he's in love when he thinks about someone more than he thinks about himself, and when he does this and that and this and that. And Amani is like, well, you're describing all the things that you've done for me. So do you love me? And he was like, I got love for you. I love you. And she was like, which one is it? And he was like, both. She says that, you know, I mean, you cool. I like you, but I really wouldn't say that I am falling. Well, I'm in love with you or I love you, you know. I've been in love before and it hasn't worked out, so maybe that's why I'm stopping myself. And also, we only known each other for 2 weeks. So then after that, she cooks dinner for him and she has braids again. So that probably happened the same night they went to the spa. I'm sorry. I just need to know what's going on. I don't feel like watching a whole hour and a half again. But I feel like being a detective and going back and looking at stuff. I don't know, man. I got stuff to do, so I probably won't. Anyway, so she cooks him a nice little dinner. He comes home. He's really enjoyed the dinner. He appreciates her. She says that she felt as though she needed to step up because he has been showing her how, you know, like thoughts. What's it called? What is it called? The love language thing. You know, gifts, thoughts, not thoughts, words, not words, acts of service. I don't know. You know, he doing something. You know what he doing. I can't tell you. She basically said she did this. She was trying to keep her husband, and then he like, all I'm gonna say is Woody would be tempted by Amani in a burger, a burqa, anything. It really, the mustard, lettuce, ketchup, bacon, all that. Anyway, moving on. Bennett and Amelia, they did the do. Very nice. I was very, like, giving her the side eye when she was like, Bennett didn't feel well, so she went to go get him some ginger, and I was like, well, giving him the side eye. I was like, Bennett, do you have the 19? Okay, because I know it's coming soon, so I'm really ready for those episodes. Because also when they were in the park and they were talking about, which I didn't catch on to, I don't be catching on to nothing, they were talking about, you know, trading each other for the world and doing all of that, and Bennett says, I don't know if I could just be like stuck in a room with you and, you know, not be able to experience other things to make me cherish you more. Quarantine. So they get their card asking, has anyone been in love? Amelia's plaid pants, cute. I like it. I didn't like the top with the plaid pants, but I definitely like those plaid pants. And I also liked Christina's, did I talk about them going salsa, going dancing and going to golf? Did I talk about that? And how cool they were doing that with one another? And that's when Christina was like, you know, she can see like parts in him that she likes, and that's when he said he can see parts in her that he likes. Did I say that? Oh my gosh. Anyway, well, Christina's sweater that she had on when they were at the golf course was really nice, and then Henry had on his polo sweat shirt, I don't know what it's called, and that was really nice too. So anyway, moving on. Bennett and Amelia get their cards. He asks her, how do you know you are in love? She says, I'll feel connected, intertwined. He says he'd feel comfortable and at ease, and he'd feel like she would feel those same things. She asked, does he believe in love at first sight? He says yes. He then admits to the confessional that he does love her. He's not in love with her, but he does love her. And I guess he loved her since they sat down at the thing. You seen the flashback. They sat down and she was laughing and stuff, and he was like, yeah. I love it. So she has set up a series of surprises for him. She ruins the surprise by leaving the cake out. I wonder how that cake tasted. I've never had cotton candy and cake. She teaches him how to slackline. I don't know what it is. I didn't look it up. Then she sets up their picnic, and then they talk about the whole, I wouldn't trade you for the world, because Bennett says that is a very lofty statement to make. That really makes no sense. I don't think that there would be any situation where I would trade the world for you. That makes no sense. Even in just like, you know, just saying it is really too much for me. And I never really thought about it like that, but it is very much too much. What do you mean you trade the entire world for one person? Girl, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. It won't work. It just won't work. So Brett says that he thinks that he and Olivia are in a good place. He likes her. Okay, Brett. Then they get the card. He didn't answer no question. She was like, how do you know you in love? He makes jokes. How you gonna show love to me? He makes jokes. Every time she says something, he agrees with it. Then she says something and she's like, you know, maybe we should just focus on the little things and not focus on the big things. And maybe the little things will help our relationship stand the test of time. And he says, that makes no sense. Does it make sense? I don't know. He says, we gotta have the big things because, you know, the big things are what helps people stay together. But then when she was talking to Amani, she says they just have to work out things like life goals and wanting children and finances. Just those little things like that. You know, I don't really, honestly, truly, I don't know. She says she not really growing heavy attraction to him every day. She don't get them butterfly feelings. It's concerned. She said something about it's concerning that he doesn't talk, but maybe he doesn't want to put their business out there. And he says that he doesn't talk, but she doesn't know if he's telling the truth. I don't know what she meant by that. Amani says that when Woody comes back from, you know, hanging out with all of them, he always says that Brett gives these very political, you know, answers, and it's very frustrating. Amani asks, are they just good alone? You know, like, do they have good communication? Olivia says for the most part. And, you know, we still trying to figure out why we're matched. And Amani just wants Olivia to feel as happy as she feels. And hopefully they can find a middle ground. And then Olivia and Brett go on a swamp tour. And they see stuff. And it was cool, I guess. Anyway, what was I about to say? I also noticed the editing when they were walking. And then the men were behind them. And then they didn't walk. Or they were still walking and the men weren't behind them. And then they started walking again and the men was behind them again. And I was like, Anyway, I think I'm done. I think I talked about everybody. I probably didn't. Knowing me. Knowing me, I didn't. Did I? Did I talk about everybody? Anyway, I hope I did. Okay. I'm done. I'm going to get off of here. If you all like this review, you can like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or visit my website. My name is Brielle. I make beats. I sing songs. If you like what you see, come on along. Karen's still getting hate on Reddit. Oh shit. I saved it to the end of the video. Y'all, did y'all see? Y'all probably not looking no more, but did y'all see that Deanna and Greg are expecting a child? I am so happy for them. I'm so happy for them. I haven't watched much Married at First Sight, but I think if it wasn't for Deanna and Greg, I probably would have stopped watching. I'm so happy for them. Anyway, bye.